Summarise spoken text. Are you ready for this one? Make sure you've got pen and paper because in this task, you really do need to take notes. Come back and join us when you've got them. Okay, and in this task, as you're aware, you can use exactly the same structure as you use with Retell Lecture. So we've got our TDM SPC. So there are 6 bullet points there, 6 points. That's all you need. And when you write it up, maybe you'll use all 6, maybe you'll only use 4 or 5. So be flexible around that, but you've got the structure to work with. That's going to help you. In the test, before you click next, make sure that you've got your pen and paper ready. You've got plenty of empty space on your page so you can take notes without worrying about trying to squish it up into a teensy-weensy space. Okay, are you ready? We're going to listen to this. You need to take notes. After you've taken your notes, we can have a look at my notes, and then I'll give you time to write it all up. A bit of time before the sound begins, and then you're going to be taking notes. Let's go. Macroeconomists use a variety of different observational means in their effort to study and explain how the economy as a whole functions and changes over time. One such method relies on personal experience. It is relatively simple to notice that your company is producing more than it has in the past, or that the paycheck does not go as far as it used to. Yet while personal observations do provide information about the economy, that information can often be localized rather than universal and may not accurately reflect the state of the economy as a whole. In order to move beyond the limitations inherent in personal experiences, macroeconomists begin by systematically measuring the basic elements of the economy in order to derive standard and comprehensive statistics. This data provides information about the entire economy rather than simply about a single household or firm. 2 of the most fundamental elements macroeconomists study are the total output of an economy, GDP, and the cost of living within an economy, CPI. So you need to be really well focused right from the start so that you hear that first sentence. You need to tune in quickly to the speaker's accent. You need to hear that first sentence. Usually it's the topic sentence. The first 1 or 2 sentences will usually tell you what you're going to be listening to. So you need to be tuned in right from the start and then take notes. If you don't understand something, you just do your best with what you did understand. And let's have a quick look at my notes. Okay, so it's about how the economy functions. Okay, we've got some other notes in there. Have a look through them. Were your notes similar? And you can see sometimes it's just a word. So the purpose of the word is to jog my memory as I'm writing. Okay, so you can use your notes, you can use my notes, you can combine them if you like. What I want you to do is write 4, 5, or 6 sentences. So write it up. You can combine information, you can drop information. You're aiming for between 50 and 70 words. And in the test, after you've heard the sound file, you're going to have around about 8.5 minutes. So that's how long I'm going to give you to write yours up. And that includes checking your spelling, checking your grammar, checking that you're happy with the content. Okay, 8.5 minutes. Off you go. Okay, how did you go? Did you end up with between 50 and 70 words? Did you have enough time to check your spelling, check your grammar, check that you were happy with the content? Okay, and before we look at a model answer, I'll just show you the text. So this is what you actually heard. If you'd like to read through it, you can pause the video and do that. Okay, and let's move on. So to look at a model answer. So here's my model answer. I've got 64 words. It's well within the range. Okay, and then in the last few minutes, what I've done is edited. Okay, so I've got this produces. I changed it to that this only produces. She pointed out. Next, she pointed out. So I've made a few adjustments. I've ended with 66 words. And what did I write? The speaker was talking about how the economy functions. Then she discussed how one method to measure this is personal experience. She mentioned that we can evaluate changes in pay or company production, and she suggested that this only produces localized information. Next, she pointed out that macroeconomists need systematic tools. Finally, she concluded that they use GDP and CPI as measures of the whole economy. I've used my notes and my memory to create the final product. The structure I've used, TDM, SPC. This time I've used all of them. I've got talking about, discussed, mentioned, suggested, pointed out. Finally, she concluded. So this time I've used them all. A little bit unusual for me. Usually I only use 4 or maybe 5, but we need to be flexible around that, what feels comfortable and what lands you in the right length between 50 and 70 words. Okay, and let's have a look at the scoring so that you can go through and evaluate your own. So content is based a lot on your listening. So what did you hear? That's going to determine your content, and it goes largely towards your listening score. And the rest of it, form, grammar, vocab, and spelling, a lot of that goes towards your writing score. So go through yours, have a look. What do you think? You're happy with your content, form, grammar, vocab, spelling? What do you think?